How's it going, everyone? It's Javi here, back with another winter weather update. Today is about to be February 6th, or actually, it is February 6th, 2018. It's very late night, it's 12 a.m. But, anyways, we got a new snowstorm to watch in the United States. So, we're gonna check that out right now. But, right now, let's look at what is going on in the weather for the United States right now. And as you can see, we have this Clipper system basically right over the Great Lakes region, just in the southern Great Lakes region. We obviously see some moderate to even heavy bands of snow just north of Indianapolis and Columbus, but we do see some moderate snow. I would expect nothing more than 3 inches from this. It should die off since there won't be really anything to really support this. There's not much instability up ahead that's gonna force the air to rise and create some instability to get this thing going as it moves more towards the east. There isn't really much of anything, just a lot of sinking air around it, and storms don't like sinking air around it, so it should die off pretty quickly, that storm. And we're going to look at the next storm that's coming up because we're going to see a Clipper system that's going to come right from around the Alberta region, just a regular everyday Alberta Clipper you would see in the winter, but then it's going to mix in with this low pressure that's going to rise from the south. And I want you to pay attention to the temperatures real closely. You see that there's very strong instability between the Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana region. We see a recording of 51-degree temperatures in southwestern Arkansas, and then if you just go probably about 70 miles towards the west, we have a temperature that's right at freezing. So we see that instability already there for those thunderstorms to arise and for that low pressure to come about with this instability. And we're just going to wait until these thunderstorms arise, which would be later in the day on tomorrow during the day once we see that sun come up, and that should definitely increase the instability between these temperatures and will definitely increase the low pressure, just like the GFS model is saying. So there's, as of right now, we obviously see that Clipper system in the northeast dying off, as it just doesn't really have anything that's gonna really keep this thing going. And I don't know what happened, but anyways, we see that you could see that we have just a small Clipper system that's basically centered towards the Rocky Mountains. It's just going to drop by, and then basically we see that the rain towards the south start to strengthen as the instability really starts to rise those thunderstorms and create rising air in the region. And then as the rain starts to move up north and meets up with the Clipper system, that should create even more baroclinic support, really strengthen this thing, and we could see a major snow event for the northeast, especially in the interior regions right around the Appalachian Mountains. So we see that low pressure really starts to strengthen, and we could see based off of the temperature anomaly, we see that there's going to be stronger than usual instability towards the south. We see below average temperatures to the Midwest, but just to the south of that, we see well above average temperatures, which should definitely strengthen this storm as it moves up north, and it should definitely get this storm going. So let's see how much snow we have. We already have some winter storm watches, winter storm advisories for the region, since we have the Clipper system that's going to drop that down. The Midwest should be mainly spared from the worst of this, and the reason why is because by the time the Clipper system and the low pressure from the south meet, the storm won't be strong enough to really produce those big snow totals. But once it goes to the northeast, we could see up to a foot of snow in some regions. So we're going to see the timing of this. We obviously see Tuesday night. We see the snow basically spread along the Great Lakes region. The Ohio River Valley should get extreme icing, like Paducah, Cincinnati should get icing, so watch out for that. And if you don't know how freezing rain works, we obviously see the warm air basically filtering in right in the middle, because up in the air it snows up in the air, and then once it encounters that warmer air, it basically just turns into super cooled rain molecules, and then as it goes down, it just basically rains down as those super iced rain molecules. So it won't fall down as snow, it's gonna fall down as freezing rain, and that could be very dangerous because a half an inch of ice could be worse than 10 inches of snow. So keep in mind that for the Ohio River Valley, be careful. Don't underestimate the power of ice because ice could definitely be a problem, especially if you live in those regions where they aren't used to events like this very much around the Ohio River Valley. But anyways, we see the snow towards the Great Lakes region. I don't expect much, probably a good area of 1 to 3, maybe 3 to 5 in some spots south of the Great Lakes region. But then Wednesday, it becomes interesting because this storm becomes a lot stronger, it becomes a lot broader too, and we see heavy snow in a lot of regions. Albany, Buffalo, Cleveland, Burlington, you name it. All those places are gonna get a big snow event where I would expect 5 to 8 to 8 to 12 inches right around the area. And then New York City, it should snow at first, and the snow I think will be heavy once it starts snowing, but then after probably 2 3 hours, it's gonna turn all into rain as we see that warm air filtering in. So if you're south of the I-95 corridor, I expect it to be mostly a rain event, but New York City, it should snow heavy once it starts snowing. So just because you hear 1 to 3 inches doesn't mean it's gonna be that bad because the snow that 1 to 3 inches is gonna snow within a 3 hour period, and that could definitely cause rush hour problems, especially since this is gonna happen right at the heart of rush hour for New York City. We obviously see the ice potential in this region, and then we see the good area of 5 to 8 to 8 to 12 in the higher elevations. And then New York City is right between 1 to 3, 3 to 5. And I think any shift in the forecast should make a big difference. But right now, the computer models are actually agreeing on this very well. There's very little differentiation between the two. And we obviously see that um, the European and the DFS are awfully similar with the forecast, and you can see it's basically the same picture based off of what I see. The cold air is just centered just to the north of us, the worst of the cold air at least, and it should be cold enough for the interior portions of the Northeast to receive a good amount of snow. So let me see how much time I have. Okay, 7 minutes left, but you can see that most of the cold air is basically centered just to the north for the GFS and the European model. So the model forecasts are very accurate, but even with this, it could change within the next 24 to 48 hours. We'll have to see about that. But anyways, guys, get ready for the snowstorm for the Northeast. It should start like in the morning time for around New York City area, but in Boston it should start more around noontime. And keep in mind that this snowstorm is going to dump like heavy snow totals in a short period of time. So this isn't one of those snowstorms where it's going to snow 8 to 12 in a very slow period. It's going to snow 8 to 12 in a very fast period, since we're seeing those heavy rain bands basically like quickly mix in with those snow bands, and it's proven by the freezing rain. We see that warm air desperately trying to filter into that cooler air, or actually the opposite. But we're seeing basically the warm air and the cold air really start to meet, are gonna try to meet up with this storm, and that's causing the freezing rain potential, and also the potential of heavier snow bands that we could see with this snowstorm. But anyways, guys, I guess that's about it for this report. I might go report later today. Let me get some sleep first. But anyways, guys, thank you all for watching, and I hope to continue this. Subscribe if you want to see more of this. I hope you guys have a great day.